or build on what we already have. And before we take off, just allow me to invite Madam President, whom we work closely with on this platform, to just say a word to welcome us, and then I will pick it up from there, and we have our conversation. Madam President, are you around, or you are still on national duty in the State House? Immaculate? Oh, she appears not to be around. That notwithstanding, as Range has put it, the conversation today is entitled Gender and Inclusion and the BBI recommendations. We're going to do what I'm calling a constitutional walk. And this constitutional walk is going to take us back to 2010 when we promulgated our constitution. And this constitution is touted all over the world as the most progressive of the constitutions that are in existence. The reasons why this is so are that, one, the power is with the people. When we look at chapter 1 that talks of the sovereignty of the people, that is where the power is vested. And where the power is vested is where decision making is supposed to take place. And so as people of this country, Kenya, we pride ourselves in being the ones with the power. Then the Constitution goes further to explain that we can exercise this power either directly or indirectly, meaning we can delegate. And when we delegate, it means that we are helping one of our own to take part of what we have for our own good. Now, when you look at that position of the Constitution giving you the power, and then further, the Constitution telling you, and in Article 3, that it is your responsibility to respect, to uphold, and to defend the Constitution. That is Article 3(1). That you are supposed to respect, to uphold, and to defend the Constitution. In which case, the Constitution recognizes that because you have the power, then you consider that power to be so important to you, to be so vital to the extent that you will not allow anybody to play around with the same. Number 3, when you look at our Bill of Rights as a people, it is so elaborate. It's unfortunate that to date, not all of it has been enjoyed by ourselves. But our Bill of Rights is one that you cannot compare even with the American Constitution in terms of the rights of the people. Now, when you move further and then you move to this area that is causing us a lot of trouble, that has made Maraga to issue an advisory that is still an advisory until it is acted upon, in the area of gender. That our Constitution recognizes that we have different gender. And gender here, in the Kenyan circumstances, we imagine that gender is women. That is why men are so myopic that they are doing what they are doing, because in their thinking, gender is women, forgetting that one day they will also want to help people to understand that gender is not women, that gender is both men and women. So when we look at the provisions in the Constitution, in the issue of gender where we are told not more than 2/3 of either gender should be in the appointive or elective positions. That tells us that there is recognition in terms of diversity, that yes, God created us differently, but also God recognizes that we have our abilities, that we can, if we put it to good use, it is for the good of humanity and it is progressive. Now, when the Constitution recognizes the issue of not more than 2/3 of either gender to be in elective and appointive positions, it is cognizant of the fact that there have existed and there are still existing challenges that are gender-based. And therefore, for you to deal with those challenges, you have to come up with what is called an affirmative action. And therefore, the affirmative action in our case was captured in 2010. The moment of truth came in 2010 when Kenyans said, look, there has to be a way of bringing those who are disadvantaged now to a position where they can also move to the next level. And we created the 47 women seats that we call the county women MPs. And then we went further and said that Article 177 that focused on the county assemblies in terms of membership, that where there is we have fallen short of achieving the not more than 2/3 gender, and where we have also failed to attain the expectations of Article 100 on the special interest groups, then we provide for nominations that based on what you garner at an election, you will be given an opportunity to nominate. And nominations in this case in 2017, same for 2013, took into consideration Article 100, where there are provisions for women in the famous gender top-up. There are also provisions for the minorities. There is also a provision for the marginalized, and there is a position for the PWDs. And without forgetting that in certain areas, the ego of a man could also be at stake. We have what we call the party list, which is zebra in nature. That the party list also takes into consideration if the men are not in the gender top-up list, men are not considered in the minority list, men are not considered in the marginalized list, then the party list, which allows female and a male in that order, will ensure that nobody loses out. So this arrangement in itself is one that helps us to understand that 2010, we were very conscious of all the facets of our society, our needs, and our country. And we were moving together as a people. Let us not forget that elections or any contest will always have the losers and the winners. Even as you are preparing yourselves for 2022, I want to begin to implore upon you that don't think like it is either your way or the highway. Begin to appreciate that in the political contest, whether at the party primaries or at the general election, two things are likely to happen, that you are either going to be the victor or you are going to be vanquished. And which means when you are clear, you will work extra to ensure that you are the victor. But in the event that the unfortunate happens, you will still appreciate the fact that you are not competing alone. you are competing with the rest of the people. And therefore, you will be very clear in terms of your engagements, in terms of your operations, because you already are clear on that. Now, looking at 2010, therefore, we are saying that the women of Kenya were well cushioned against all the vagaries that come with the political contests. That the women of Kenya were able to be identified as those who had been marginalized for too long, as those who are minorities for too long, and therefore they were being brought on board for them to begin to feel like, yes, we are also part of this country called Kenya. Moving forward, all of us are aware that in 2018, to be specific, on 9th of March, our two friends, His Excellency the President of this country, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and his erstwhile nemesis, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, met at Harambee House. And from the discussion we have been hearing, they were able to talk to each other after looking at each other for a long time, and nobody knew who would start to speak. Finally, when they broke the ice, they were able to say that enough is enough, that this country requires inclusivity, this country requires unity, this country requires to deal with corruption, this country requires to look at what we call shared prosperity. They came up with a 9-point agenda. From that 9-point agenda, they created what is all of us are aware of in terms of the task force that had BBI 1, the Building Bridges Initiative, which was launched in 2019. And then October this year, we had the BBI 2. And now there is this talk about the referendum. Now, issues that I wish to highlight, and then when we will be in the plenary, you'll have all the time to raise the others. To me, from a gender perspective, and now let me look at it from our disadvantaged position, that number one, the recommendations that there are to amend the Constitution today are taking what we call both the political and the electoral lens. But when we say we have failed to attain the not more than 2/3 gender principle, and we now are proposing that we have 94 women senators. Yes, on one hand, somebody will say the number has increased. Now, if this number, if we have 94 senators, and then we say 47 women positioned in the National Assembly are moving to the Senate, we are creating a gap that the National Assembly, whose membership is going to be 363, will have minus the 47 women MPs. Now, we are also getting from the BBI proposals that the Prime Minister shall be appointed from members of the National Assembly. This National Assembly, where the Prime Minister and the two deputies shall emanate from, has already a gap of women if we go by what is current. That from the 290 constituencies existing, when you look at the elected women, those numbers are only beefed up with the numbers that are coming from the 47 women MPs, and those numbers are beefed by the 6 women who got nominations. So we are creating a big office in the executive of a prime minister and a deputy prime minister who must be appointed from parliament, National Assembly, sorry. But in the same National Assembly, we are saying that 47 women MPs should be moving to the Senate. What are we telling the women of Kenya? That you have a 0.0001 probability of becoming prime minister or becoming a deputy prime minister. Because if you are not in the National Assembly, then you will miss out on this. Number 2, that the political parties where you and I belong, which have been nominating members to occupy certain spaces, both in the county, in the National Assembly, in Senate, are not going to have that leeway in terms of that nomination. The purported participation in an election to qualify for nomination in itself means that there is a particular class that is keen to be in positions of leadership. You who is not going to run, I am sure when 3 of you on this platform belong to the same party and you are running for the same seat, it means that one of you will be the one who will be in the political contest of the general election. However, this person requires people who do the legwork. The foot soldiers are out there. A nomination from my standpoint is a reward by the party and at times by the candidate to those who were instrumental in the victory. Now, you are going to get people running for office, not because they want to run for office, but they are looking at it from the lens of, if I run, then I'll be captured. I am for consideration in the nomination spectrum. How loyal are we going to reward our members? I wish also to single out the fact that in the BBI proposals, looking at what is anti the women folk is what to me needs to be addressed by ourselves, because if it is a clawback on what we have gained, then it is not serving our purpose. Many of us have been told that there is a provision for running mate for the position of governor to be of either gender. I wanted to put it very clearly that looking at the wording, the word consider, if I am a man and I'm the one who is gunning for the position of governor, I have been told to consider. Consider means it's not imperative. It is not a must. My consideration, if I am sensitive to the issues around democracy and inclusion, I would go for my opposite gender in terms of being my running mate. But 99.9% of our Kenyans and those who belong to the male gender, already you have realized that the current governors are opposed to that aspect. And to me, I was shocked when the governors used a deputy governor who is a lady in Great Rift Valley Lodge to make a statement that, in my view, spoke a lot. It told us that this is just a bait. There is no goodwill around it. Hello. Sorry for that network challenge. Are you hearing me, ladies?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Let's proceed. The point. Hey, please let's.
Hello.
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 Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. Let's proceed.
Yes, I
Hello.
can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, Roslida.
Yes, I can hear you.
My name is Shamala Immaculate. Are you hearing me?
I am actually, specifically I am.
Thank you. Is that Mheshimiwa Rosalinda?
Yes, this is Roslida.
I tell you, please, when we finish this meeting, unione kando. You've never seen me kando as Mheshimiwa.
Sawa. I will.
All right. So ladies, happy Jamhuri Day.
Happy Jamhuri Day.
Jamhuri Day, Rika.
Asante, thank you Rika. Wewe pia unione kando tafadhali.
wengi.
Leo ni Jamhuri Day, munioneone tu kando. I need some wine.
Madam President, can we continue before we wine?
Yeah, we can continue. We were warming the seat for you. Yeah, we needed wine from Mheshimiwa. Go on, Tabu, go on. Thank you.
Yeah, I was taking this conversation. I am rightly focusing what is for the women, but at some point I'll just run through the other proposals that are general. And then for me, look at the legislature. That proposal is to amend Article 91(1) to change the composition of the National Assembly from the current 290 to 360. This 360 is going to be achieved by having 70 seats. Now, these 70 seats, up to now, there is no formula that has been provided. Remember also, we are being told that there are going to be multi-constituency seats. We are not being told how that is going to happen, and we are also not being told whether these seats are going to be for the women of Kenya. It would make a lot of sense if we were given assurance that as we are adding these 70 seats, these are strictly seats for the women. And then we would be saying, women of Kenya, instead of competing in 47, now they are going to compete in 70. So we have additional 23 seats to the existing 47. Remember also that when you are talking of the 360 seats, we have already removed the 47 women county members. We are also amending Article 98 of the Constitution, where we are moving 47 elected senators and nominated to 94. Now, if that happens, I had said earlier on, it reduces the chances of the women from being members of the National Assembly and by
Network bala.
Nasumbua.
Haki.
Lakini tutapambana tu mpaka mwisho. And that comes, I can hear you, Jackie.
I'm wondering.
Yes.
Andambi.
Yes, my dear, I'm here. Umepotea?
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Nani?
Unapotea.
Vile unataka wine leo. Nani?
Senator,
Mniite nikiwa na Shamala.
wewe hujaongea useme uone kando. Shamala amejitetea.
Mimi nishasema naona unasema network propaganda wacha.
Unajua wewe tuko tu pamoja, tutakaa tu pamoja na turarue. Wewe tuko bamba kwa bamba.
Nishasema mweshi.
Nimeongea.
Sema, who am I to say no?
Of course. Who am I to invite?
Hii network sababu
Sana.
September.
Yes, Andambi. Millicent.
Sasa mweshi.
Poa.
Hey.
I think Tabu is back. Let us relax kidogo. Tabu to unmute, huh? Facilitator to unmute.
Hello. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Looks like somebody is pouring money so that this conversation does not go.
We can hear you, Tabu.
Wherever you are, utashindwa.
Kabisa,
Katika
jina la Yesu.
Yes, I was at the point of saying that appointing official leader position is a good thing, but the return of that leader of official position, when you look at the political parties in Kenya today, chances of having women in that position are also very, very minimal. Number two, somebody is priding in terms of formation of coalitions that for you to be the official leader of opposition, it is just not you having garnered votes, you also must have garnered a certain number of seats. The proposed constitutional amendment or nomination is removing calculation on the number of seats won to the number of votes that have been garnered. In as much as it could be a good thing, but remember, you may have many seats, but so what happens here? That you have your members of parliament or national assembly, but they were winning by very small margins and you fielded very few candidates, whereas there is a party which fielded very many candidates and all of them did not go through. But when you do cumulative of their votes are more than yours. Yet you are the one, your party has won 3 seats with the 4,000 votes, for example, in a county, because you only fielded 3 candidates and all of them won the seats. Today, you qualify for nomination because you have won the seats. In the current arrangement is that Party X, which had 3 candidates and all of them were successful with 4,000 votes, against Party B, which fielded 20 candidates and all of them flopped in a county of 20 seats. But they have a cumulative vote of 10,000. They are going to nominate, and you, with a successful story, you are not going to nominate. So where are we in terms of that Article 177 that ensured that where we have fallen short of the numbers, and in 2013 and 2017, women were the victims. Where are we? We have lost in terms of that. As I conclude, I want to look at the bills that are in Parliament today, which are supposed to guide referendum. That the Election Act, this today, provides for conduct of elections and referenda. So all is not lost in terms of the conduct of a referendum that is looming. However, there are 2 bills one presented by JLAC and another one presented by CIOC. Now, JLAC stands for Justice and Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament. This is a committee of Parliament that looks at issues that are legal in nature. Then we have another committee that is called the Constitutional Implementation Oversight Committee, CIOC. JLAC currently is headed by Honorable Cheptumo from Baringo North, and CIOC is headed by Honorable Jeremiah Kioni, who is the MP for Andaragwa. The 2 bills are curious in nature. Number one, that whereas JLAC had presented its bill earlier, CIOC also came up and developed another bill. And this is what we call sibling rivalry, that you utajua hata mimi niko. What are some of the highlights that are critical for us in the two bills for avoidance of doubt? That number one, the two bills have already gone through the first reading. That is that the first reading is the stage at which you introduce the matter that you want to be for legislation. The two bills have also gone to second reading. Second reading is where now the bill is taken to a committee of parliament to look at it, align it in terms of the legislative language and all that goes on in terms of legislation. Then after the second reading, we now move to the third reading where the issue of public participation comes on board, or it goes to the plenary of the House, and now it is read clause by clause and members make their contributions. As we speak now, the two bills have gone through the first and second reading. I also want to point at this point that there is serious consideration and pressure from certain quarters that the two bills be actually be merged. And at the third reading, we have one bill. So what is expected is that should the two committees of parliament agree, one committee whose bill is being merged or dropped will inform parliament that we have withdrawn our bill, or our bill has been merged, and therefore we have come up with a single bill, the two bills that were existing. So the JLAC bill is consolidating all the laws relating to the referendum. So anything that talks about referendum has been consolidated in the JLAC bill. Now the JLAC bill goes further to look at what the Constitution provides in Article 255, that when you are collecting signatures, 1 million signatures, these 1 million signatures should not be collected from a single county. A minimum of 4 counties should be involved in the collection of the signatures. And now remember, as it is today, the referendum bill will be discussed in all the 47 counties, and a majority of counties are the ones that will win if 24 out of 47 actually pass. But if it falls short of that threshold, then the referendum bill actually is dropped. Only if it is not touching on items in Article 255(1), which I think you have, when you have time, you will look at it. Now, the JLAC bill also is looking at what we call a single question referendum of yes or no. Now, on the other hand, CIOC is focusing on the amendment of the Constitution. Get that JLAC is looking at consolidating referendum-related laws, bringing in breathing life in the 1 million signature, and still sticking to the one question referendum question. Now, CIOC is focusing on the amendment of the Constitution, in which case it is not just looking at the issue about referendum, but it is going beyond the referendum and beyond. Now, CIOC is also raising a matter of the referendum committees, yes or no, have to be registered and to bear their own cost. Remember, in 2010, government funded the referendum committees. Now, whereas CIOC is also proposing that you can have a referendum that has multiple choice options, meaning that we can go to a referendum with more than one question. JLAC, one question. CIOC, more than one question. CIOC further is also introducing a very curious proposal that if you are a promoter of a referendum issue, I can bring on board another bill that counters your bill, or a bill with a divergent view. For example, currently, let's look at the Building Bridges initiative. The signature collection has happened. Now there is verification of those signatures by IEBC. Then IEBC is going to come up with the referendum question. So there is the current, what we are calling BBI bill. Now Tabu, who may be keen to scuttle the BBI bill, has been given leeway if the CIOC bill goes through, that I can introduce another bill with a divergent view from what you are having. Fellow Kenyans, you know what we normally do. When I don't want what you are doing, I will always go using the available opportunity. Maybe I'm close to power, then I will scuttle the whole process. So curiously, there is that proposal bill to the existing one. 2, CIOC proposal is that we can go to a referendum with more than one question. That when you are going for somebody mute somebody abebeleze mtoto tafadhali. When you are going to court, the JLAC says that High Court should be the last point. From when you are currently, the Constitution provides that the High Court is the only court that can accommodate any kind of petition. From the High Court, you now go to the Court of Appeal. Now, this matter of the referendum is not handled at the magistrate's level. So according to JLAC, the High Court is the one and the last stop. According to CIOC, you can move from the High Court, then go to the Court of Appeal. But issues around the referendum have to be completed within 6 months. Now, the question we have is, remember I said, the Elections Act as it is today is still sufficient in terms of conducting referendum. So let nobody say we can't go to the referendum today because we don't have a mechanism of conducting that. But we don't have a law specifically dealing with the referendum. That is why JLAC and CIOC are making this effort to ensure that we at least have a law. It is progressive that we get a law, but it is important for you and I now to begin to scrutinize this law, these provisions that they are. Should the 2 bills now be merged? And then it comes for public participation. Where are you? How sure are you that we are not giving by one hand and again taking by the other hand? I want to say that having used the first hour of this conversation, allow me to be selfless and share the remaining hour with all of you. Over to you, Madam President. Madam Shamala? Hello? Madam Shamala? Looks like Madam Shamala is at large. Okay. Please, if you have any comment, you are now free to raise or any question on the issues that I have raised. Remember, we have been looking at what is provided for currently in the 2010 Constitution, what we consider the gains, and vis-a-vis what is now provided for in the current proposals by BBI in terms of inclusion. I have by design left out the proposed amendments that don't touch on gender in terms of direct benefit. They are having indirect benefit, but for me, let's look at the direct benefit, because that is where our clamor for inclusion is.
Daniel,
Yes.
I
Are you
have no, this is Jackie.
Hello.
This is Jackie.
Yes, I have a comment.
Please go ahead.
Hello.
And my concern was on when you are talking of women being in the Senate,
Yes.
and you find it as a problem that we are not going to get when we are in the Senate, we are not going to get chances to be prime ministers and all the appointive positions that come in the National Assembly.
Yeah.
My concern is, are you advising all of us to go for the 47 seats? Because when we angle our perspective to only the 47 seats, it will make our opponents, who are mostly the other gender, to tell us, all of you go to the Senate. That is your seat that has been set for you people. So my thinking would be that for as much as we are looking at the 47 seats that have gone to the Senate as a challenger, we also need to encourage ourselves to go for the other seats, because if we don't also, because what at the Senate we have increased. So for us to make it again, we need also to vie for the MP seats and battle it out with the men, because it is doable. And my perspective is that, like for the case of Kakamega County, that has 12 constituencies and 60 wards, my observation would be that if a candidate would go for an MP seat, would actually win than vis-a-vis going for the obvious Senate 47 that is designated for the women. So I don't know how we can achieve to make us dare it with the men and increase our visibility on the political ground than us zeroing in only to the 47 Senate seats and limit ourselves only to the women seat. So my desire, Daniels, will be, if at all we look at it in a manner that the women need to come out for all the elective seats, not necessarily targeting the 47 female seat that is set for us. And I'm grateful that you were able to make us understand that the deputy governor position is not a mandate, it is a consideration. You know, you've actually opened my eyes. I was, in my assumption and in my lack of a better word, I've been assuming it is a must, that if at all the other gender is a male, then the deputy must be. So the word should be must be. So I don't know how we can get the wordings right in the BBI, that it's not about considering, but actually a must. So that was actually my comment, Daniels. Thank you so much. I'm encouraged.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing. This is my take. Where I come from, we believe in going for the hanging fruits, because hanging fruits don't require you to climb. You are just on the ground and then you pick the fruit. Women women should not limit themselves to what we are calling affirmative position seats or affirmative action seats. That is, to begin with, that all the 6 elections should be populated by women, right? From the presidency to the MCA position. That's the point. However, we are cognizant of the challenges we face in that kind of arrangement. And for the BBI promoters to propose that 47 women seats that are the low-hanging fruits in the National Assembly, where we would be saying already we have 47 women from whom we can get a prime minister and or 2 deputies. Because if we go to an election and 47 women seats are a woman against a woman, we already have the numbers. The number 47 is already with us, or the number 70, if that is the case. At this point, Madam, we are saying women are going to fight it out with men, knowing too well that there are challenges associated with that kind of a contest. It is a contest that can go either way. Either a man will win or a woman will win. So we are not sure that position of prime minister will come to us because we are not sure that we are winning, as opposed to a secured, which is obvious. Number 2, let us dare to dream. Hello? Let us dare to dream in this manner, that let us ensure that we go for all these elective positions. In this case, we are increasing our visibility and possibility of getting.
Sorry, Tabu, your voice keeps cutting. So I don't know if it is the network, because we can't really hear you properly.
Are you hearing me now? Hello?
It's
Hello?
intermittent. That's better. Just try continue.
Okay, are you hearing me now?
Yes,
Hello?
yes, we can.
You are? Okay.
Yes.
I was
But not,
making
not very clear.
maybe where you are, because if others are here, then it could be try to change your position, please. Are you here?
It's not clear.
Okay.
Hello? Am I?
Hello. Personally, I'm getting you loud and clear.
So okay, please don't hesitate to say, so that I tell the technicians to see what they can do. And the point I was trying to make is that whereas it is important for us to go for all the seats in the single constituencies, the probability is 50-50 of us winning, and therefore being in the brackets to qualify for appointment as prime minister or deputy prime minister. But if they are secured seats, it is obvious. The issue of deputy governor, Madam, is we have been told the train has left the station. And the other day, you remember when Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga met the Muslim leaders in Mombasa, and they gave him proposals that they should be considered for appointment of ambassadors who are Muslims to Muslim countries. His answer to them was, it is unfortunate that right now we cannot take any more views. So it's unfortunate that there's nothing we can do. However, there is what we call negotiated democracy. Negotiated democracy is the women in County X who feel like the governor, if the governor is going to be male in their county, the deputy governor should be female. The women now begin to ensure that they have a voice, that they face this candidate and say, looking for our votes, this is our proposal. And here, scratch my back, I scratch yours. So let's negotiate, because now the law as it is, and we have been told the train has left the station, we change the position to make it mandatory that either gender has to be a running mate. Any other response or clarification?
Yes, I would love to. This is Rosalida. Can you hear me?
Yes, Rosalida.
I want to. I would like. Okay. Can I go on?
Dambi, continue.
You are lost, Tabu. Can't hear you.
Continue.
Can I go on?
Please continue, Rosalida.
Oh, thank you very much. This is Rosalida and Dambi.
Yes.
I would love you, or maybe all of us, to comment on this issue of the woman rep seat being moved, or rather being removed. Now we have the 57 senators. We have had a debate, or this debate has been going on amongst women, that by moving the women rep seat and moving it to the Senate without the affirmative action fund, it's a loss. It's like giving you with one hand and taking away with the other hand. And besides that, now that the women rep seat has been taken away, it would have been fairer, since we have the 47 women now going to vie for the Senate seat. In the past, we have had the Senate seat where women were also free to vie. So if you take away the 47 seats from the women, now you have to vie just against the women. And this seat of the Senate, which has always been there, would have been left open also for the women who would wish to vie against the men, also to vie for that particular seat. So a debate has been going around that we have actually lost when it comes to that. What do other women, or what do you say about this taboo?
Thank you very much, Rosalida. Can the women tell us what is your feeling? Because for me, from where I sit, I look at it as serious women of Kenya, in terms of you are where there is meat, you are being told, please, where there are bones. Why am I saying this? That in the National Assembly, this is where we have vested a lot of power and authority. Senate has power and authority, but considering the two chambers, without appearing to demean Senate, you all are aware that this, in the National Assembly, this is where matters are. So, and coupled with the fact that appointment of Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister focuses on the National Assembly, where we had obvious 47 seats that would have guaranteed us an opportunity without belaboring the issue. For me, I agree with you that it is a clawback on the gains of 2010. So it is unfortunate that no matter how we begrudge the issue, but the train has left the station. I think let the women of Kenya do the honorable thing of caucusing amongst themselves and asking themselves this question: really, is this the way we need to go? If that is not the way we need to go, then which way do we go? Because it's unfair that what you have ni kama unanyang'anywa chakula kwa mdomo. Surely, is it fair? Eunice Chepchumba, I can see your hand is up.
Yes, Tabu. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, please? Am I heard?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. I don't know if I don't know if CMD or NAC Kenya has a lawyer. I mean, so that we look into the issue of women gains in the two documents, that is the Constitution of Kenya and the BBI. And to me, the gender perspective gains for women just on paper, because we have, the gains that are indicated in the Constitution have not yet been implemented. For example, the 2/3 gender rule and the BBI, which carries the same for women, and of which is still on transit. There is nothing much we are going to, we have gained and we are going to gain as women, because if we are unable to implement the existing ones, what about the ones we are still talking about on the BBI? Then the Constitution of Kenya 2010 was intended to transform the lives of Kenya's marginalized groups, but 10 years down the line, we still remain in significantly disadvantaged as women. Look at what was earlier said in the BBI, that when a governor is a woman, is a man, the deputy governor should be considered. As Tabu said, there are terms in law that are silently put there to disadvantage as women. When we say it should be considered, one should consider either a woman or a man, and I think this one, I'm sure this one targets women because of the obvious reasons. Then it means the narrative is still the same. Those are just but words being said, but in real sense, they still target women. And I think we are still in those backward days that we still believe in stereotypes, inferiority, and patriarchal hindrances to women leadership in Kenya. To me, we haven't gained anything, and still I can't believe in such, because we are still struggling and we are still disadvantaged as women. And I think Tabu has put it very well that moving the 47 women to the Senate, where there is no allocation of resources, is evident that our government or the society is not ready for women leadership. How can you be a leader in a certain county with no allocation, surely with no kit whatsoever? So I think we have to do something. And as I said earlier, I don't know if NAC Kenya has something to do with law, so that it assists us. We come up with a movement or something like that to influence the government on making sure that anything they put across, for example, in the BBI, is made assured to women that they are going to gain in any of the positions. now on the two bills, as Taabu had said, they have to be merged together so that it is clear to whether it is going to assist us as on gender issues, and to make sure that laws are followed and everything in the constitution, either in the constitution or in BBI, are implemented. Thank you so much. Sauti.
Hello. I don't know where did Mr. Tabu disappear to. Should we continue commenting on the same or we wait for him?
I think we should just continue.
Yes.
I had raised my hands. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Victoria Zila, Kakamega County. Okay, my comments on what we've discussed today. First of all, I wish to echo the sentiments raised by Honorable Kanya regarding the women going for these seats. Already the 47 seats, as much as the BBI recommends they will be transferred to the Senate, that is already a reserve for women. So my take is we should put our focus in other positions so that we ensure inclusivity. And I'd really encourage women to go for the member of parliament seat if we really want to, so that we can be, that is where according to me, that is where decisions are made. That's where, if BBI goes through, that's where the cabinet secretaries will be appointed from, the deputy prime minister and all those stuff, and influence of budgets where women play a critical role. So we should, as much as we have the Senate represented, women moving to the Senate, we should really focus more on having a great representation in the parliament. My take on BBI, I find the document is very insincere when it comes to issues to do with women and leadership. One critical question I ask myself is that we have the 2010 constitution, which is among the best constitution in the world. That constitution has not been implemented fully. We have the issue of two-third gender rule, which would have brought about gender balance at the National Assembly. You've all seen what has happened. So what is the guarantee that if BBI goes through, everything that is recommended in that document will come to pass, you know? So the document in itself, it's not being sincere. Two, if BBI is keen about empowering women and ensuring there's gender representation, both genders, I'm looking at the Senate, the current Senate we have, it has already attained gender balance. If it is it has not, then it is just a slight error, because we already have 16 nominated senators at the Senate, and we have a number of elected, but the gap was at the National Assembly. So it is quite unfortunate and insincere for the women representative seats, which are brought balance at the somehow representation, though it didn't attain the two-third gender rule, moving them from parliament to Senate it is quite unfortunate to me. Three, as women, I think our position right now, I'm seeing most women, and deep down their heart, they know that this BBI document is not speaking to them, especially after what has been raised regarding the issue of the deputy governor. It is not a cast in stone that the opposite gender must be nominated as a running mate for any candidate. But I'm seeing people are aligned based on what their party leaders, the decision made by their party leaders. There is that fear that if I speak out, if I come out boldly and raise some of these critical issues, the party will find a way of getting back to me, maybe denying me certificates when the time comes in 2022, or I might be kicked out of the party, or I might be shortchanged during nomination and so forth. So there is that fear. That's why you see even women reps themselves, they are not coming out strongly to say, no, we want to remain at the parliament where resources are and where key decision-making processes is taking place. We don't support the idea of being moved to the Senate. Now, our women rep elected ones at the moment, they're not saying anything regarding that matter, which is unfortunate. I think we should be bold enough. And the decisions we are making today, it's not just for us, it is for the generations that are coming after us, the lives we are bringing to this world. So what about them? Let us just not look at our interests as at now, but the kind of future we want for this country. And we should come out strongly and defend. But that as it may, in the event, as a politician, I'm looking at two things. In the event that BBI goes through, how best am I positioned as a politician to make sure that I ride on the opportunities that avail themselves? So as a candidate, I'm keen. I'm looking at how the issue of the extra seat at the parliament and other stuff. That's why as at now, I'm not so keen to declare which seat I'm going to vie for. I'm waiting to see if this BBI sells through or not. But as an individual, I think the document is not sincere to us women. We are being denied more rights. And two, there is no guarantee that all this that have been stated in the BBI is going to be implemented fully. And lastly, if our leadership is genuine, issues that have been recommended in the BBI, most of them, they can be addressed through an act through the parliament. The issue of tax relief for youth, which is being used to hoodwink us youth into supporting the BBI. Those are issues they already proposed bill in the parliament. If our leadership is sincere, let it push through those recommendations so that they go through and they be enacted into law. We don't really need BBI to address most of these issues. Thank you so much.
Good morning,
Thank you,
honorable women.
Victoria.
Good morning.
I'm Eva Nyamogo from Trans Nzoia County. Can you hear me?
Proceed, Eva.
Yeah, I just wanted to make some specific points, Tabu, is that you really mentioned that the train has just left the station. So what can we do as women? I think there are several things that we can do as women for us to get these seats. For the Senate, we've been given equal opportunity with our counterparts. So if we continue complaining too much, they will feel like we want to be given these things for free. Yet we don't want to be given anything for free. So for me, if anybody would ask me, I would just say that let the Senate seats remain the way they are. Yes, we are given one for, then the other one for men. Hello?
Yes, we are here. Eva, we are here.
We're here.
Okay, now for the women, in our various counties, can we be able to strategize ourselves so that strong women can go for political seats, not just for MPs, but even MCAs? We have seen in our counties. So for me, as Eva, I would ask many women to go for MP seats, to go for MCA seats, so that we are represented fully as women. I mean, the country can really feel that women can truly lead. But as we speak right now, for me, yes, the train has just left. So let us plan and let us strategize ourselves within our counties. Let us look at this deputy governor's seat. Yes, it is not specific. I mean, there are no laws really guiding it very well. But women, we can talk to these men at the county level. Let us be at the table where they are discussing the deputy seat or anything like that, so that they can know that we are there and we seriously need that seat. Let us not sit on the fence and wait for things to happen. Then we can say, at women, we've been left out. Now what can we do? Let us just work on it and let us feel like, okay, fine, the BBI is here with us. So what can we do so that we get these other seats? We get MPs, we get MCAs, and we also get a deputy governor if the governor will be male. Thank you.
Hello.
Immaculate.
Yes, thank you. Hamjambo.
Hatujambo.
Tabu umeniita sana na nimekuwa kwa mkutano, sijui kuliendaje, but I've been through the meeting na nimesikia. Na kwa sababu leo ni Jamhuri Day na nawatakia Jamhuri nzuri yenye mafanikio, naomba nisemezane na viongozi somo zetu nyie kwa lugha ya Kiswahili. Nimeshukuru yale ambayo Tabu amesema, yale ametudokezea kulingana na vile ratiba, vile katiba ilitengenezwa, vipengele ambazo ziko kwa katiba ambayo zafaa zilindwe kulingana na masuala ya kijinsia, na vile kuna pendekezo katika hii kitu inaitwa BBI imekuja na kidogo ni kama inaondoa zile nguvu zetu kama wanawake katika mambo ya uongozi. Nina mambo matatu na nitakuwa kwa haraka sana. Jambo la kwanza, hii BBI ni nini? Ilikuwa muungano ya wanaume kukuja pamoja, wanaume ambao venye Tabu alisema walikuwa wanaume hawaonani kisiasa, walikuwa vigogo na wakuja pamoja kwa sababu mmoja alikuwa anaona ameshinda, mwingine aliibiwa. Na wakaja pamoja na wakaanzisha kitu ambacho hata kisheria haikukuwa na framework ya kisheria, BBI. Lakini ikaenda na watu wakatoa maoni. Hivi sasa sisi wanawake wa Kenya tunaanza kuongea tukisema hiyo sio nzuri. Swala la kwanza ni je, sisi wanawake wa Kenya tulikuwa wapi? Tulikuwa wapi haya mambo yakipendekezwa? Sauti yetu, manake tumejulikana Afrika nzima, East Africa nzima kwa wanawake ambao we are very proactive na tunafanya juu chini kuangalia masuala ya kijinsia imeangaliwa kwa mambo ya masheria na mambo ya uongozi na halmashauri zingine. Hivi sasa ndo hizi tumekaa hapa, tuko tunasema hii kitu ni mbaya, hii kitu ni mbaya, lakini swali kuu ni kwamba sauti zetu zilikuwa wapi? Inamaanisha labda sasa we have left our guard. The way Obama says, don't lose your guard. Kumaanisha tumeacha guard yetu na tumeanza kukua not very cohesive as women of Kenya. Because hizi vitu zenye tunasema tungefanya juu chini, tuambie hao vigogo, tuambie hao wenye sijui steering committee kwamba hii haiwezekani na hatutakubali kama wanawake wa Kenya. Kwa kifupi nasemaje? Tulikuwa wapi? Sauti yetu ilikuwa wapi? Na sasa timing. Manake ikija kwa kitu inaitwa advocacy, tunaangalia tena timing. Je, tutafanya nini saizi? Kitambo ndio hiyo signatures zimeanza kuchukuliwa. Wakenya wengi wameweka sahihi zao wakisema tunaunga hii mswada. So sisi kama wanawake, timing yetu ya si kupinga lakini kusema hebu tujaribu kudadisi na kuingiza hii kitu ikuwe mzuri, ili tulikuwa wapi? That's the second thing I'm saying. The timing of our voice, to be honest, is something that is worrying me. Where were we to raise our concerns? And then the third thing, I don't know, Tabu najua ulisema, the issue of nomination. For me, I fully agree with the proposal. And I also want to say, Kenyans, when they have compromised on the seats of women rep, it tells you that Kenyans are speaking to us women leaders. Probably hawaja feel performance yetu for the last 10 years in this city a women rep? We need to ask ourselves and really reflect under a tree or in the river while we are taking a bath and ask ourselves, why did Kenyans not talk so much, speak to the women rep seat? Why is it they did not? Why was it the compromised seat? Not that because we are hated, but where was our performance? Okay, let us be honest, the 47 seats, did our good sisters in parliament perform good with the little they had, with the political space and influence they had? Did they perform well? And now we come to the nomination. We've never had a formula of nomination, but at least I'm happy that they are saying people who will be nominated, it is important that they also show their worth. Waonyeshe kwamba ni wazito, waliingia kwenye uwanja, waligombea viti, na basi zile votes ambazo walipata, zile kura zenye walipata, ndo zinaweza pea mtu nafasi akuwe nominated. And for me that is important. Manake sisi pia tulikuwa tumeanza kuwa na uzembe kwamba wacha tu nikae huku nitaweka vitu zangu sambamba, alafu nipate nomination. La, wacha watu wajiingize kwenye siasa, wacha waingie kwenye ulingo wa siasa, wacha wapige sera zao, then tuone yule mtu ambaye amepata more votes, then that is a person anaweza sema, look, you cannot deny me nomination, yet I brought this number of votes in the party. And lastly, hii kitu ya deputy governor. You see, it is okay. Walienda Naivasha na wakaongea. And what do you expect? Politics is a game of interest. Wanaume walijitetea na wakasukuma hawa deputy governors watatu. Waona, wakawambia iwezekani. Ndo wakarudi wakacheza na hiyo kitu ikasema can consider. You know, and it's their interest. They were guarding their interest. And that is politics. So sisi pia kama kina mama, wanawake wa Kenya, we can also guard our interest in every county through using this caucus of women beyond political parties. We need to be having a conversation as we speak now, meeting in Kakamega, meeting in Busia, meeting in Nyandarua, and saying, wanaume musipo to consider, nasi pia hatutawa consider. So we also need to play that game that they have taught us so well. We need to be, instead of lamenting, tukutane tuseme tunawaona, lakini kwa mfano mgombea kiti kama Chris Wamalwa, wewe tembea, lakini bila mwanamke kama deputy governor wako, wanawake hawatakupigia kura. So what am I saying in summary is the women of Kenya must just rise up. Women of Kenya must take back their space, claim it, and that voice that we used to have wakati wa kina Wangare Maathai, Martha Karua, Ngilu, it must come back. There is no diplomacy sometimes in politics. We must just ascertain ourselves. We must be angry to bring change. We must have that sense of outrage so that they can hear us. Otherwise, if we say, hii kitu si nzuri, and we leave it at that, nobody cares. We must punch where it hits most. Otherwise, we will be duped for the, in fact, hii kitu ikipita, then trust you me, the precedents we are setting ni kwamba sasa situmezoea wamama wanawake wa Kenya, situmewazoea watafanya wapige makelele wanyamaze. We must be consistent, we must be precise with what we want and speak. And also in case hatutaweza kusikika, let social activism, political activism be employed. That is what I would say, because today's Jamhuri, I'm feeling very patriotic, but I'm saying I'm not going to dwell on lamentation. I'm asking myself, how can I force changes that already the train has taken off? But how can I force this train to navigate according to the way I want? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Shamala, Eva, and then Victoria. I will endeavor to also add my voice to what has happened. Victoria asked a very good question, that if the 2010 Constitution has not been fully implemented, what guarantee do we have that the BBI recommendations are going to be upheld? That is a question for you and I. And that is why, as we head to the referendum, if at all it will be there, that is the point of making the decision. Two, there is this issue she raised of fear among members of political parties that if I speak out, then I'll be punished by my party. I'll be denied a nomination certificate. I may even be thrown out of the party because I am voicing a position that is not consistent with what my party leader is saying. I want to believe that we said we need to secure our positions wherever we are. The question is, this position that is being, was it a collective position or was it a position by one individual? If it was by one individual, then you will still win the case if you went to seek for redress in the party, and if the party does not hear you, the political parties dispute tribunal, and you will state your case, and I can assure you that you will win the case against the party leader, because it will be considered in terms of how consultative was the decision. If it was not consultative and the constitution of your party speaks to the contrary, then you will carry the day. Number 4, she said that when the referendum comes, she's positioning herself to benefit from whatever. Politics, as we've been told, is a game of interest. Politics is about strategic positioning. Politics is about what you have in terms of understanding the environment that is prevailing and how able you are to read the signs of times. Please put every skill into the game for as long as you are within the purview of the law. Responding to what Madam Eunice raised, Eunice asked whether NARC Kenya has a lawyer who would look at the 2010 constitution against the 2020 BBI recommendations. I want to say yes. We just don't have a lawyer. NARC Kenya has very many lawyers, not forgetting that the leader of the party is a senior counsel. And the party has looked at the BBI document in and out, has done its audit against the existing law. And we feel that there is nothing good for Kenyans in wholesale about the BBI. And the things that have been touted in this BBI can still be achieved through the normal parliamentary proceedings. So you are aware of the NARC Kenya position, but I'm not here to propagate the NARC Kenya position with regard to BBI. This is a conversation that we have to have, and everybody from their own position, they will make informed decision based on the information that is available. Madam Eva asked this question: what can we do as women? In the Senate, we are now equal. We are 47 against 47. And she's proposing that women should run for seats. We said yes. From the onset, we are encouraging women to run for all the 6 elective positions. Let that not be lost on any one of us, that women of Kenya in Article 38 of the Constitution have been given their political rights, and the political rights allow them to vie for any position. Please, let us encourage women to run for all positions. However, we are looking at what challenges exist, which in themselves have the potential of denying women of Kenya benefiting from what is rightfully theirs. A contest has 2 results, that either you are winning or you are losing. In constituencies where we have a 50-50 opportunity is different from the current 47 seats, which is a guarantee. And given an opportunity for me, I would then look for the constitution, the referendum bill by CIOC, which is proposing that we can have a referendum with more than one question, so that when we have the multiple choices, we will either vote and accept what is good and reject what is bad. And here then I would, coming to the issue of moving the 47 county women seats into Senate, I would vote no, because I want the 47 women in the National Assembly, because this is where real issues are happening. That I would be sure that out of the 47 women in the National Assembly, chances of getting a prime minister is very high, or chances of getting a deputy prime minister is very high if appointments are taking place in the National Assembly. Remember that cabinet secretaries, if the BBI proposal goes through, will also be picked from the National Assembly. So why should women of Kenya be taken to where there are bones and there is meat in the National Assembly? So Madam Eva, yes, let women go for all these seats, but remember, there is guarantee in the secured seats. Lobbying for the seat of deputy governor, that one is a must. Should it work or shouldn't it work? Let us not even think that if BBI does not go through, we cannot have women as deputy governors. Let the lobbying be ongoing, that wherever you are in your county, consolidate the women voice. Get the women around
Exactly.
and chart out a movement that is going to make demands. And you can even organize what we call a town hall debates. Women organizing town hall debates and inviting the people who are actually fronting their friends or fronting themselves for these positions. Then you begin to say, look here, we are commanding this number of votes in this county. If you want our votes, this is our demand. That is how certain individuals have gotten into positions of power, that you use your clout to make your demands. And this is what I was referring to as negotiated democracy. That whereas I am giving you this, I am not coming out empty-handed. I also am coming out with this. So both of us are winners in this particular game. Madam President has been very passionate about where were we? Where were we? Yes, we may have missed out, but let us also not kill ourselves. Let us now begin to ask ourselves, because it appears we went to slumber kidogo. 2022 isitupate hapo. Saizi, I liked your concluding remark that let the movement of women now be on, actually we call it gear 6, not even gear 5. That can we begin to feel women in terms of making demands? Not making demands because they are women. No, making demands because women have demonstrated that they have the ability, they have the capacity, they have the capability to deliver. And they understand the environment in which they operate. So let's pick it from the last statement of Madam President, that yes, we are human beings. We may have erred because initially, remember, even Dr. Paul Mwangi, who was the Joint Secretary of BBI Task Force, when he appeared on JK Live, he was very categorical. He said when they were collecting views from Kenyans, the issue of constitutional change was not part of their assignment. They knew they were just collecting views, and after collecting these views, then these views would actually be taken up by the relevant commissions or by the relevant agencies to come up with policy, to come up with legislation. They least expected that it was going to be this. So I want to defend the women of Kenya by saying maybe they also imagined that because we just gave our proposal, it would be handled differently. Now we have been shocked to be given back the same document. And even before we read the document, our signatures are being collected. You and I know how the signatures have been collected. A lot of intimidation, coercion, threats, blah, blah. 5.2 years, now IEBC is doing verification, but you still have the power. The veto is with you on the day of casting the vote. Whether it is going to be a single question referendum or whether it's going to be a multiple choice referendum, you still have that veto on that particular day. And because we are having about 6 minutes left, let us chat the way forward. Can I hear you, Madam Shamala, can you lead this discussion in terms of 2021? What are some of the issues that the women we are working with would want to happen?
Thank you.
We know 2021, this is our roadmap. Over to you, Madam Shamala.
Thank you very much, Tabu. Thank you for the encouragement. Thank you for the challenge. Thank you so much. Someone will give vote of thanks to CMD. But ladies, viongozi wakubwa kwa wadogo, mmesikia, labda tuanze kuangalia way forward. Manake nchi yetu ya Kenya inajulikana sana kutengeneza problem statement, tunaiandika vizuri sana. We know how to define in depth. To describe a problem, we are very good about it. Now we need to get out of description and then be also action-oriented, results-oriented. Here we are in this situation here, BBI. It has taken off, it has not, but that's where we are. So what do we do moving forward? Despite BBI not looking at our issues, but also we know that there's an election in 2022. How we navigate through all these challenges to ensure that, one, we don't lose out. We safeguard and secure what we have. We safeguard what we have already and secure more. So I would like, maybe I'll pick people randomly, kidogo, so that we move, because I know there are people who have been coordinating a lot of things in their counties. And Eunice, I would like to hear people of Bungoma, the women of Bungoma, what are we doing to ensure that we are never caught in such a situation, and also how do we ensure we get out of this situation? So over to you, Eunice. Hello?
Yes, Madam Shamala. Do you hear me?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I was saying, one of, do you hear me?
Yes, go
Hello.
on, go on.
Okay, one
Eunice,
of my way
on.
for. One of my way forward is that we mobilize for a movement, a women movement, to identify all the gaps and make sure that they are included in the document. And secondly, in Bungoma County, we have already set some ground and created we are almost completing our women movement, so that we meet and compile all the gaps concerning women gains either in the constitution and in the BBI, and how they are going to be included in the document. And my second way forward is to maybe move county by county and come up with either a Zoom meeting or a physical meeting for the coordinators of the movement, because this is as it is said, the train has left the station, and we should be asking ourselves what is our way forward towards the same, and how swift can we move to hasten the process. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bungoma. Mostly you're talking about, coming together and galvanizing, our agenda around the women's, and through a women's movement, our we had. Yes, I would like also to hear from Dorothy. Thank you very much. I've noted down. I'd like to hear from Dorothy. Forward. Dorothy Chero, what do we do to move? And I mean, how can we move forward now, given the scenario we are in? Over to you, Dorothy. Dorothy? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, go on, Dorothy.
Yes, I have a problem
Yes, Dorothy,
on my
endelea.
phone. Yes, simu yangu si poa. Hello?
Yes.
My phone is not okay on the
Yeah.
side of sound. Yeah. Nasema,
Yeah.
we are
Yes.
ready to unite as women. And I'm asking you also, if possible, as Transoians, let's meet as women, plan for our own coordination, start pushing for the BBI agenda, because from the look of things, the trainer has left, and let's be on board, because when the BBI team was going around, we didn't go together as women. People went on their own lines, the way I've said in the chat. So I'm asking you, let's start from our own county. Let's come together, put the team together. As for now, even I need 5 coordinators from the 5 sub-counties, and let's see on what to do. There's a group that is coming down to empower people on the agenda of BBI. So to me, let's start from there, and then as we go on, we'll bring other women on board. But to Tabu, I'd like to ask, what can CMD do to us so that we can reach the grassroots and support women by letting them get empowered and understand that women, once united, we can get all these seats from the MCA to the deputy governor, Senate, and even parliament.
Okay.
Hello?
Thank you. Yes, we've heard you. Memaliza?
Sikusikia question hata. What was the question?
Memaliza? Sawa. Lakini, okay. I would like to hear Emma Kibiro. Are you around, Emma? Emma? Emma?
Hello, there is something I forgot.
Wait, Eunice first. I want to see if Emma, just a minute. Yes. Emma? Emma? Okay, all right. Yes, Eunice, you were saying something.
Hello?
Briefly?
Yes, I was saying there is something we have initiated on civic education across the country, and I was identified to coordinate Rift Valley region. And there is also someone from Western, and I think that is an opportunity for us to maybe collect views from the women, because it is specific for women and people living with disability, so that we identify the remaining gaps and look for ways of making sure that they are included in the document. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Kakamega, we would like to hear from you, Zila, on behalf of Kakamega and Lydia Nyangala, Honorable.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Honorable Shamala, for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity. I just wish to state that I think most of the recommendations have been stated. I just wish to emphasize, as women leaders, we must move with speed and mobilize our grassroots network so that they can be informed, that is conducting civic education and make the right decision. Now that the train has left and there is a high chance that there will be a referendum, we can lobby our grassroots so that they make the right decision. So I don't know how CMD can partner with us so that we conduct civic education at the grassroots level and lobby for support so that what we want is what goes through. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Honorable Lydia Nyangala. Honorable Lydia. Okay. Do we still have Emma here? Yes, Honorable Lydia, welcome.
Are you getting me?
Yes, we are. Briefly,
yeah,
give your way.
As we had agreed with the Zila, maybe we can make an appointment. We meet, then we see how we can coordinate.
Perfect.
Because I had already communicated to some ladies and they were willing to come so that we forge the way forward.
Very good. Very good. That is good. Do we have Grace Mwaniki? Okay. Grace Olo from Mombasa. Can the coast give us the way forward? Grace Olo from the coast.
Yes, Madam President. Hello?
Kindly can the coast speak up? Hello?
Yes, my take would be, hello?
Yes, we are hearing you. Go on.
Yes, my take within the party. Like as women, the political parties who are members, and within the parties that even when we go for nominations, we have to agree even with the party leaders that certain areas or certain constituencies must just be made. It's possible to be for women without compromising us. Because even if we talk about a greatest number when it comes to elections, if we don't have the nomination certificate for women, it's still going to be very difficult. So I think in negotiation within. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Finally, Millicent Owano. Millicent. Sorry, I'm rushing you people, sorry. Millicent? Is Millicent around?
I can talk, eh?
Yes, please.
Hello?
Yes, we're hearing you. Go on.
Yes, Mheshimiwa Shamala.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go
Okay,
on.
I want to say, as women, I think we are being shut down by this BBI, and we must accept it. But because the train has left at the other, as others have said, we'll just go with it. But inwardly, we are not safe as women because the BBI is not clear how even the 76 seats they are saying that are going to be created are going to be shared. We don't know whether the seats are going for the women or the seats are still going to be fought with men also, because we cannot have 47 women only at the Senate. Already they're even diluting the power of the Senate. Senate it is an upper house with no power because it is going to have bigger number, because at the moment it has only 40 less number, but it has a lot of issues all the same, even in passing bills. So I think because much has been said, let's move on, and women, let's be aggressive. Let's go for the positions. and show these men they can also be minority and need to be nominated. They'll see the importance of nomination, because nomination has really built so many women. Because if you look at the women in the parliament at the moment, most of them passed through nomination to reach where they are. So if you are being denied these positions, let's just pray for the best. And we want all women that are going for this elective position, we wish them well. And let's work hard and show them that we can do it. But all the same, we are being played. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Shamala.
Thank you very much. And that was very good.
Yes.
We need to have had more time, especially on the way forward, but I think our time has come to an end. But may I summarize what we are saying? That one, the women of Kenya in different counties must start coming together with a common vision, and they must have a common interest. That alone we cannot manage. We cannot navigate in this, very shrewd environment alone. And so we are being asked, that's what I'm hearing from everyone, that we must look at one, not political parties, but interest of women of Kenya. And so this is a challenge to all of us, that what are you doing in your different counties to ensure that we may influence a discourse, a conversation that can bring some sanity in this environment that is so confused. Number two, we have said we women of Kenya must be strategic, politically strategic. That means let us get out there, hold our sister's hand. Whoever wants to go for gubernatorial, whoever wants to go for senatorial, whoever wants to go for the MCA, let us bring all on board and minimize a lot of competition within us, but instead be a force that we can field candidates in all these positions. Number three, we are saying we must upset the peace by ensuring that we activate the grassroots networks to be part and parcel of our common interest agenda. And the common interest agenda is with or without BBI, the women must be in leadership. And so how do we galvanize those networks of ours, those chamas, those religious groups, those political networks and social networks we have, that they can clearly see the vision of Kenya through the women's eye? That means that we need to get out of the comfort zone and start looking and activating and also mobilizing those networks to be part and parcel of us. Yes, we have also said that if CMD and not if CMD are our great partners, we are reaching out to them that this is the time to reach out, to hold our hands so that we can be able to go to the grassroots, but also galvanize the grassroots voices through civic education so that they can critically see this BBI using our lens, how we've been shortchanged, but what can we do to navigate and reach Canaan without being compromised or suffocated in this environment of BBI. And so we are reaching out to be a CMD. We are saying thank you for this meeting. It is one of the best that we have spoken to each other, that we have seen clearly, critically where we have been duped, but we are still asking of you, pleading with you, yourselves and other partners, that it is time now to reach out to grassroots so that we can activate these grassroots to at least change the narrative, change the discourse, and influence if things are not going right, and clearly they are not going right. And lastly, there are people who have been given positions, Kina Eunice and Dorothy. It is important that you use that opportunity to bring more women on board so that such opportunities can also be platforms for women who are aspiring, that the electorates can see their leadership attributes, their leadership agenda, their ideological, the ideologies that they have. And that is one way of marketing the women leaders, as well as influencing that the grassroots to see that women can make good leaders. And those are the areas I have been able to capture, but I leave you with a passing shot. You have spoken, you have lamented, you have given the way forward. But what are you doing as an individual in Bungoma, in Nyandarua, to ensure that women come together, have a conversation, have a plan, and that plan ensure they implement it to look to enable us have the numbers, be it in the Senate, be it in the County Assembly, be it in the Executive, be it in the National Assembly. Over to you, Tabu. Thank you very much for the opportunity to do the way forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam President. I also want to say thank you very much to all the women who have been in this meeting. There is an interesting post on the chat, and it is saying that is true. That is why men go to women. Call them, you know, what am I alluding to? That women have the power. Any man who wants to win an election will look for a woman as the chief campaigner, the woman as the chief mobilizer, the woman as the grassroots coordinator, the woman as everything. It is time now. I hope somebody is listening. It is time now that women became selfish and women became angry enough to deny the man this leverage that he has enjoyed since independence. That the women are going to say, this time round, it is our turn to be in power, and we are going to use the same structures that the men have been using. If that happens, I think no man will visit. But if a man will visit, then he will be told, remember, sign hapa. Sema mimi na hapa ya kwamba kama mimi ndo nitakuwa governor, deputy governor wangu ni fulani. Now, this is legal, which you can go and take into a court of law. Madam Roslinda raised a matter on the chat that who can afford to take their party to court? Please, if you are going to live in fear, then you have no business living. Fear belongs to the devil. If you are in a party where freedom has been curtailed, must you belong to that party? When Kenya has 71 registered political parties, no. Go to a party where you have your freedom, so that you don't live in fear that if you ask a question, unagongwa kichwa unaambiwa rudi chini. Please, you are a free being, and the Bill of Rights has given you freedom. The political rights in Article 38 have given you freedom. Please don't fear. Lastly, but not least, 2021, we want to get what we are calling a profile of each one of you. What do I mean by a profile? During this holiday, you have no holiday. Can you write your story? Hello? Write your story. And let us see how that story is going to be told by yourself first, to be understood by yourself, then to be understood by your peers, and before we sell that story to the Kenyans. Mumenipata? You have no Christmas without a story. Hello?
Okay.
2021, I can promise you we are going to have a physical meeting, and in that physical meeting, each one of you will tell us their story. If you don't know how to write a story, can you get a friend so that you tell that friend your story, and the friend will capture the story the way it's supposed to be? What am I alluding to? We are beginning to prepare for 2022. We will not go to 2022 without a story. Are you getting me, the women of this platform?
Yes,
without
we are.
Story, we will just be part of the statistics in 2022. Last of the very last, please don't throw the baby with the bath water. We are told that the train has left the station. It is only the BBI promoters who are saying that. But there are other avenues that can stop this train from moving. Those that are legal, can you use those legal avenues? Even if it means going to court, that is a legal avenue. Don't say, I am going to be part of BBI grudgingly. No, don't sell your birthright. If you are not for the BBI, please just be bold enough and say, I am not. And the reasons why are this. And there are always options. The referendum will have a yes or no. If it goes yes, hautapoteza chochote. If it goes no, hautapoteza chochote. We will still have to reconstruct our lives. Kwa hivyo, let us not live in fear. Let us exercise our civic duty. And the colleagues who have been given opportunity to carry out civic education, please use that opportunity to leverage women. Any opportunity you have for somebody to speak, don't bring in a man. Please, please, please. Look for a woman. Let that woman come and let that woman give this common mwananchi that which mwananchi has been missing. Ukiangalia pilot ni mwanaume kwa vitabu ya shule. Ukiangalia daktari ni mwanaume kwa vitabu ya shule. Please, Eunice, when you are carrying out your civic education engagement, don't be part of these writers who imagine that women cannot be pilots and women cannot be doctors. Because picha yenye mtoto anaona akiwa shule, mwanaume ndio pilot, daktari ndio nurse ndio anaweka mwanamke. Sasa mtu anajua tu in the medical field I can only be a nurse. Tafadhali, tafadhali. Having said that, allow me now to wear my CMD kofia ya board. Niwashukuru kwa kuwa katika huu mkutano. I have taken up whatever request you have made. I don't want to give an answer, but like we assured you, we are going to work with you. You may run away from us. We shall not run away from you. Na kwa hayo mengi, mbarikiwe na muwe na jamhuri njema na Christmas njema na mwaka mpya wenye mafanikio. This does not mean we will not be chatting on our platform. The platform is still open, but in terms of meetings, like you heard Range say, this is our last meeting, but in 2021, I can assure you, tuko full blast. Bye.
Bye-bye. Abu, thank you, Range. Merry Christmas, Kiongozi.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
And take care.
Bye-bye. Yes, I'm not just a number, I'm a force, you know. That is what I go out to this meeting with. Zila, bye-bye. Rosalinda? Rosalinda?
Shamala.
Rosalinda, I'm waiting for now what you promised.
Shamala. I'm in
Yes.
your area of jurisdiction.
Are you
Yes,
around?
and I'm claiming for something.
And then you come along and son.
I know.
At our
Can I reach out? Are you there for a long time or shortly?
For today only.
Oh my goodness. So let's talk then. You can tell me your position, we see.
Okay,
DM. All right. Okay. All right. Rika? Nilikuwa Mundu alikuwa anakuja Hunyasi. Anakuja huku.